Am I the only one that wants people to stop injecting so much crap in their face? Hey guys, today's video is just an observation or a message to those who are trying to get Botox, fillers, or something else to their face to make it look better. All these treatments fall under the aesthetic medical industry. And the aesthetic medical industry is huge, and it's been growing a lot. And you may be wondering, is that even the case now that we're entering a recession or possibly a depression and the economy is kind of going down the drain? Well, actually, facial aesthetics and Botox in particular are kind of recession proof. In fact, in the last recession, Botox actually shot up a lot. I don't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, but it was definitely very significant. Now, a lot of experts call this the lipstick effect. You might be wondering, what the heck is the lipstick effect? Well, it's basically when consumers, during a recession, when they have little cash on them, they still buy these smaller indulgences. Like, they'll buy a higher end lipstick, even though they don't have that much cash on them. But they'll avoid buying things like a larger luxury item like a car or the new MacBook, because they just don't have enough money for it. But the smaller things, they'll find a way to spend money on it. Now, in the aesthetic market, you can imagine that a large part of it involves the face. And in regards to the face, a large segment of facial aesthetics is Botox. There are over 7 million Botox treatments in the US every single year, and that number is only going up. Now guys, I really have an issue with this. All these people getting all this stuff injected to their face. At some point, you need to stop. Now, don't get me wrong, Botox has a lot of uses. And if we're just talking about the face, it even has more uses than just aesthetics. For example, Botox can treat chronic migraines. Actually, Botox is the only medication approved for chronic migraine therapy. Now, hold on a second. What even is Botox? Well, Botox is just a brand, and it contains this toxin called botulinum toxin that's produced by a bacteria. Now, this toxin, when it enters your muscles, it basically paralyzes them. Now, I know that sounds scary, but if you use it correctly and you use it at the right dose, it can really make some good benefits. Now, going back to if you have chronic migraines, if you put some Botox around your head and your neck muscles, it can really relieve a lot of that pressure and make you feel a lot better. Now, Botox will only last about 3 to 4 months. So after 3 to 4 months, you'll probably have to get another round of it, and you'll probably have to keep doing this. Now, the more you do it, the less often you'll need it. Now, I know that doesn't make any sense, but basically the more you use Botox, the more your muscles will start to atrophy and die, and basically those muscles won't be able to contract as much. Now, along with chronic migraines, Botox is also really good for excessive salivation, or basically if you produce way too much saliva. So if you're drooling all the time, if you wake up with drool, if you just can't control your drool, that could be a sign that you're producing way too much saliva. Now, if you can live with this, it's not that big of a deal, but in really severe cases, Botox can help. Another benefit of Botox besides just your aesthetics is if you have jaw or TMJ pain. Your TMJ is basically the joint that's in your jaw here, and it's the joint that moves when your mouth opens or closes. Now, a lot of times people have this pain when they're a grinder or a clencher, meaning they grind their teeth when they're sleeping. Now, just a side note, if you do grind your teeth a lot, I would definitely recommend you get a sleep study, because a lot of the time, people who grind their teeth, especially when they're sleeping, they have some sort of breathing or some sort of sleeping issue. But if you inject some Botox in the masseter muscle, or the muscle that's required to clench and grind your teeth, then it can kind of relieve that muscle, because what's happening is when you're sleeping, that muscle's acting way too much, and you need to kind of calm it down. So the Botox can really help in those situations. Now, I don't want you to get the wrong idea or anything. I love Botox for aesthetics, and I think Botox in the face can do wonders. And it's actually really cool. You know, if you have wrinkles in your forehead, especially when you raise your eyebrows, that means that the muscle that's pulling your eyebrows up is acting pretty strong. And again, some people like these wrinkles. Some people like to show that expression, but if you really want to get rid of those wrinkles, Botox can help. Now again, just like the stuff before, Botox will last for 3 to 4 months, so you'll have to keep getting it over and over. Now that's not an issue. I don't have an issue with you getting Botox every 3 to 4 months and getting it with someone that you trust. But the problem with modern day aesthetics is they want to look perfect. They want to get every single wrinkle out. They want to add fillers and kind of fill everything up. And then before you know it, you have these super puffy cheeks. You can't really move your upper lip. You can't move your eyebrows. And you just look fake. This is the worst thing to see. You know, you have these celebrities or you have these younger people who really don't need any Botox. You know, they're good looking people. They look attractive, they don't really need any fillers or Botox, and then they start getting addicted to it. Then they start getting fillers in their lips, they start getting fillers in their cheeks, they start getting Botox everywhere, and before you know it, they don't even look human anymore. And it sucks, it really sucks, because this is why I said it's really important to go to someone that you trust and stick with that person. Because a lot of the times people who are doing Botox, they don't want you to go overboard, and they won't give you it if they don't think that you need it. But for some people, they don't like that answer. So they'll go across the street and they'll find someone else to do Botox, and that person will be like, oh, I can make some money doing this, and now you're left with a bad result. I want you to think of Botox and fillers and all these facial aesthetics kind of like a graph. So you have these results that start getting better and better, but then it starts to plateau, because at some point you start getting diminishing returns. At that point, you want to stop. You don't want to keep going. And actually, even before that, you should probably start thinking about stopping. But if you keep going like a lot of people do, it starts to go down really quickly. So again, I'm not trying to scare you away from getting Botox or fillers. If you're interested, definitely go for it. I think it can help a lot. But I want you to remember that you don't have to look perfect, because this is where the real issue begins. When you start seeing these models on Instagram adding all these filters, or you see people always using these Snapchat filters, and now everything starts to look fake, and you want to look like that, but when you go chasing perfection or you go chasing all these perfect results, that's when you can kind of end up disappointed and probably end up with some bad results. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked that video, and I hope you learned a little bit more about Botox and fillers and all this facial aesthetic stuff, and I hope I didn't scare you too much. But if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel below, and I'll see you in the next video.